Both continuous and term and evaluation processes are adopted in MA education program. 30% credit is given to continuous assessment, that is the course-wise assignments, and 70% weightage is given to term and examination that are conducted in the month of June and December every year. So far as dissertation is concerned, dissertation report will be evaluated, and at the same time, viva-voce examination will be taken for your dissertation course. For further information, you can write to the program coordinators, Professor Nirod Kumar Das. You can also write to me, Dr. Niradhar De. For more detail, you can go through the common prospectus, which is uploaded in IGNOU website, www.ignou.ac.in. Why wait? Come and join with us and enjoy happy learning.
Namaskar viewer, I am Pawan Saini, Faculty of Library Information Science. Today we are going to discuss type of classifications. Type of classifications, it is a part of the course BLI 223. Its title is Organizing and Managing of Informations. Its blocks are divided in 4 units. The first unit is the concept, जिसमें हम बात करते हैं कि कंसेप्ट क्या है लाइब्रेरी क्लासिफिकेशंस का. सेकंड इज यूनिट इज कवर टू टाइप ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशंस. टुडे we are going to discuss type of classifications. Under the type of classifications, I am discussing first is introductions. Then after we will discuss the various type of classifications. Here is classification scheme. We are talking about the library classifications के प्रकार कौन-कौन से. The first we will discuss is the fixed and relative location systems. The second type says that by design methodology and array of applications, web classifications, ontology, knowledge classifications, and library classifications. And next is the by form of literature. Then after we will discuss printed and electronics versions, and last is localized or discipline oriented schemes. So first of all कि क्लासिफिकेशंस किसे कहते हैं. द वर्ड जो लाइब्रेरी के अंदर जो हम जो एक्यूजस जब लाइब्रेरीज के अंदर द वेरियस सेक्शंस होते हैं, द फर्स्ट सेक्शंस एक्यूजेशन सेक्शंस के बाद नेक्स्ट हमारा सेक्शंस हम यूज करते हैं टेक्निकल सेक्शंस. टेक्निकल सेक्शंस के अंदर फर्दर वी कैन कैटेगराइज इज ए 2 main component. First is classifications. Here we are talking about the classifications. So classifications word has been derived from the Latin word is classes, with means grouping. Classifications, it is a mental process because we are provide the informations to users, but before provide the information we follow the steps in the classifications. So library classifications is a management of books and other reading material of a library in a way useful to the users. It means their meaning of library classifications of documents and other reading material is indivisible for any libraries. It means it is a mandatory, it is a most important part of the any library when you provide the services as a part of the classifications. Various methods and local method are for arranging library materials range from the client tables and papers and rolls and monographs and other printed documents or notebook material. Now we are using the web resources. It means कि libraries के अंदर classifications जो methods है वो स्टार्टिंग से थे, बट यहाँ आज हम बात कर रहे हैं कि लाइब्रेरी क्लासिफिकेशंस के जो टाइप्स हैं वो कौन से. तो फर्स्ट टाइप जो हम स्टार्टिंग से देखते हैं, जब लाइब्रेरी क्लासिफिकेशंस ट्रेडिशनल में जाते हैं, प्रीवियस लिस्ट ही देखते हैं, तो फर्स्ट मेथड दे आर यूजिंग द फिक्स्ड एंड रिलेटिव लोकेशन सिस्टम्स है ना. इट मीन्स से कि इट इज ए स्थिर और परिपेक्ष स्थान सिस्टम्स. इट मीन्स फर्स्ट, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, suppose sometime we have mentioned on the book is the call number 2.4.6.28. it means यहाँ पे इसका मतलब ये है कि 2 नंबर रूम के अंदर 4 नंबर अलमीरा में 6 नंबर जो सेल्फ के ऊपर 28 नंबर्स बुक्स को आर लोकेटेड किया है. दैट इज अ fixed locations methods. It means the second component part of the is the relative locations. उसके बाद में जो दूसरा methods जो type of classifications में कहा है relative locations method. It means कि compared to previously methods से the fixed location systems के साथ साथ जब हम देखते हैं तो दूसरा relative में not only the fix the locations of the racks है, we are identify the related subject है, then after we arrange the book है. In relative system class number refer to subject of the book rather than the self place. For example, a new books on geometry could be placed with earlier books on books and the geometry without any problem. Not only this, geometry could be further divided into the place geometry, solid, plane geometry and solid, etc. Earlier the book could be placed in the end of the almirah content book on the mathematics. Now the fixed location systems are now is a totally dead in history. Now all library they are use the systems are relative systems. Then after the third next is type of classifications is saying the by design methods. By design methods, it is again is the type of the classifications. So first say the first method under the design of methods is a enumerative. Enumerative Hindi means परिगणनात्मक सिस्टम्स हैं. यानी परिगणनात्मक सिस्टम मीन्स कि जितने भी जो क्लासेस नंबर है वो प्री डिफाइंड है, लिस्ट शेड्यूल पहले से प्रिपेयर की गई. इट मीन्स an enumerative schemes classifications consist of a single schedule which enumerative all subject of the past, present, future, interpretive future. It means इस जो टाइप की क्लासिफिकेशन स्कीम है उसके अंदर भविष्य में, वर्तमान में और संभावित सब्जेक्ट की लिस्ट बना दी गई है. दैट इज कॉल्ड द एनुमरेटिव सिस्टम्स. ए क्लासिफिकेशन इज अ मैप ऑफ नॉलेज विच लिस्ट सर्व सब्जेक्ट एंड सब डिविजन्स इज in a top-down approach. It and each subdivisions is given a notational marks to be done it. These are also known as the mark and park systems. Enumerative systems produce systematic but linear list of the subjects. The enumerative classifications can be represent only the aspect of specific at a time. It means enumerative scheme they have not used any isolated facets. They don't use these methods. It means कि because they are only use the ready-made class number say this the enumerative schemes, a lot of schemes. Then उसके बाद many scheme aspect have been left in these schemes. For example, earlier the additions of DDC here Dewey Decimal Classification is a simple subject like anatomy. Dogs could be either classified in zoology of dogs or anatomy of animals. And these are example of the enumerative classification, enumerative schemes. And second example say the DDC. And DDC, Dewey Decimal Classification, is a hierarchical and enumerative scheme of some facts, a facet aspect. And the basic arrangement of DDC is by the discipline. The Dewey systems, you know, learners very well. DDC was introduced by Melvin Dewey. He was an assistant librarian. That was in age of 25. They have developed the scheme in 1876 under the title Classifications and Subject Index for Cataloging and Arranging the Book and Pamphlets for a Library. This is that time. The DDC was introduced in 1876. In total number of pages is 44 pages. Though 12 pages are only for the introductions, how to use the DDC, and 12 pages are only for the schedule. Schedule means a list of classes. Then remaining 18 pages are related to the relative index, that is called the index in future. Now at present scenario we can see the 24th editions are available in web DB and 23rd editions are available in print form. But now the number of pages is more than 4,000. But starting the DDC was started is in the only 40 pages. Another is example of enumerative classification scheme, say the LCC. LCC stand for the Library of Congress classifications. The scheme was introduced in 1904, but the scheme was preparation started in the 1897. The largest scheme, few DDs after the DDC. Library of Congress is developed by Library of Congress in USA. It is also enumerative pragmatic systems and organized in 21st later whole subject are divided into the 21 letters, but further we are divided in the subsections identified by the decimals. For example, H alphabet letters in Library of Congress are divided whole knowledge in 21 letters, and the alphabet letter they are using the alphabet. For example, is the H letter. H alphabet letter is represent the social sciences, but next is HA use the statics, and further they are using the HA 54-437. It means is the statistical data. Here it represent the 2 and more letters. It represent the class number in 2 and more letters. Next method, a type of under the designing method is faceted systems. Faceted systems जो यूज किया गया वो डॉक्टर एसआर रंगनाथन आफ्टर द इनोमरेटिव स्कीम में कुछ उसके वीकनेस लिमिटेशंस थी. Limitations, the first limitations you can say कि वो एक print ready-made class number दे, there are no options for more add. But enumerative classification scheme को further divided करते हैं तो कहते हैं purely enumerative and second is almost enumerative. Almost enumerative and purely enumerative, they are the further divided type of the enumerative classification. Next is based on the design methods, they are using the faceted system. Faceted system, that was a credit goes to Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. They are using the facet pakshatmak analysis. They are first we have analyzed the subject, then we have close identify the facet, then arrange the documents in a class number. They are using the facet. So here it means facet, they are called the single concept. They are called the single concept expressing place, time, physical form. It means may like today is 2 August. They are the 2 August to the 2024. It means it is a facet sana. Physical form, like this is the studio is a physical form, as I say the facet sana, and place like is a New Delhi, that is a place. Then other they are Dr. Raganathan, if they are using the 5 fundamental categories. So here is the facet system. A scheme of classifications involve the analysis of subject into their facets, which are coordinated in a predetermined order from the subject, the representations. These are the faceted. For example, the subject of library science could be divided into the type of library, facets, it is a facet, type of documents, it is also facet, and type of the operations, it is also facets, and kind of services also facet. You can further categorize the different type of services like reprography services, reference services, bibliography services. These are also the facets. Same is the another the place. They are using the place facet. Place, Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, they have used the place and time facet are kept the common facets applicable to all classes of the subject. It means they are in the scheme of colon classifications. They have used the separate schedule for the space isolate and time isolate. Suppose we need the time, suppose to 21st century, they have used the time isolate. Then same is the we need the place call number. So we are using the, suppose India is the place, the call number is in the space isolate, they use the 44 for the India. Right. So this faceted systems was later refined and development into the very dynamic or the effective mode based on the postulates. Postulate means here avdharana and principles. For Ranganathan developed the theory of book is that Prolegomena to Library Classification that was published in 1963. The whole new innovations in this field of the using the facet scheme. Then third type of the under the design methodology is the synthetics graph on a enumerative basis. It is a mix of the two systems. These are basically enumerative systems have later developed some special table of documentary aspect to combine with the base number for the 4. For example, is the UDC. UDC stand for Universal Decimal Classification Scheme, and also the DDC. It is a Dewey Decimal Classifications already taught. It is 18 editions that was published in 1971. The first time introduced the 5 more tables. Let's say the DDC that what introduced first is a enumerative scheme say also. But here we are using the synthetic and synthetic graph as the enumerative basis pair, because first time that introduced the scheme they are used the enumerative scheme, but after the some updations, after the changes, some few additions in 18 that introduced the some tables, the add the more component, more isolate, they have used it. The next is a type of classifications in this unit have mentioned the library classifications and knowledge classifications, and is a library classifications. Here knowledge means raw data, knowledge, wisdom. They are the meaning of the what is the knowledge. The knowledge is defined as the some total facts, experience, memories, abstracts, feelings, art, science, fictions conjured by the society. This is the meaning. Knowledge. The knowledge classifications outline and mapping of its structure and boundaries. Knowledge classifications is both speculative and empirical. and it is the province of philosopher and scholars. Sometimes what is the difference between the knowledge classifications and library classifications? Say in knowledge classifications, it means the based on the philosopher knowledge we are can categorize. knowledge classifications और library classifications का जब difference करते हैं तो library classifications we are arrange the documents, maybe document format as a non-book material, arrange the sequencing order, but knowledge classification they are not use the sequentially order. Also is the base knowledge classification and library classification difference between the base on the notations. And knowledge classification they have don't use the notations like symbols. Notations here mean maybe Indo-Arabic, Naramic also, but they don't use in the symbols like in knowledge classifications. But library classifications, any type of schemes, they have used the notations. They have either used the notations or symbols. Like for example, Indo-Arabic number is 0 to 9. The DDC are whole divided is a whole knowledge and divided into the 10 main classes. Then 10 main classes are further divided into the subdivisions. Then subdivisions are divided other the further the sections, and it means it is a represent the whole notations basis of the scheme. But knowledge classification they have don't use them. Knowledge classification on the base on the flows per knowledge research, but library classifications are used on the users need and their environment requirement of the library also. Same. So these are the difference between the library classifications and knowledge classification. One example of knowledge classifications Veda in categories are 500 BCs. The knowledge is dharma and earth and karam, kam or moksha, and these are the knowledge classifications ki dharam shastra. It means they are knowledge, and then that time they were divided in the systems and dharma, then after earth and the kam or moksha. Library classifications is book or documents classification. Say that library classification is book classification, and in modern libraries documents are classified on the base on their knowledge content. Therefore knowledge classifications have become based on the library classifications. Next is type of classification. Say the again is this called the methods is a web classifications ontology. Ontology is a powerful classifications tool for, you can say, the semantic web which describe and represent an array of knowledge. It is a simplified describe for the classes relationship that exist among the entity and properties that entities have. Right. It is also say hierarchical classification concept arranged in categories combined with the multi-dimensions relations to in order reflect the vocabulary that era of knowledge. That simply says the type of the web ontologies. It is web connections. And ontology which is used for the classifications, organizations and retrieval in the electronics environment. And if you search, they've used the type of classifications ontology. You can search with all electronic resources, you can find these methods. They're the type of the classifications. Ontology are source of control and standard term which help the organize informations in a more precise and multi-dimensions way. Then next is the type of classifications they use method, the by area of applications. Another type of library can by subject cover in sometime cover in journal classification systems, which is cover entire knowledge of knowledge and knowledge, units of knowledge, and other category are the special classifications. And this is the method, this is the type of basically broadly three types. First is the journal classification. In area of applications under are categorized in the three types. And first say the area journal classifications, they are using the sometime journal scheme, journal classification. Then another is type of the special classification scheme, special classification. And third type says the base of the user classification schemes. Special classification scheme, a classifications for special area knowledge, for example say economics and even banking occupations and diamond technology and women studies. These are the specific classification term. For example is the London Education Classifications University, London Classification University, that was published in 1974. Another is the area special classification example say London Classification for the Business Study, London Business School. It means that this scheme only used for the business study subject cover. Another is a special classification example of Thesaurus of Psychological Index term, that was published in USA, Washington, AP, American Psychology Association. They are using the terms. Then another is type of the area of applications are the journal classification scheme. Journal classification scheme, the lot of journal classification scheme they are used in analysis professions like journal classification scheme. They are also known the universal classifications. For example, DDC also is called the journal classification scheme, UDC also, and then CC colon classifications and LCN. Then sometimes we can categorize the level. And then another is type of classification is the form literature basis. By form literature basis means which kind of the literature, like format is CD, maybe fictions, maybe drama, maybe maybe patent. These are the pamphlets. These are the type of the classifications. It means the form of class. And popularly we mostly arrange the alphabet letters. This is another is type of classifications is say the printed and electronics. Both some schemes are in printed form like colon classification. They are available in the printed form, that is the printed versions. And but DDC's 23rd editions, 24th editions, and Library of Congress also is the electronics version. Then last is say the localized and discipline oriented schemes. And another is a types and NIPA decimal classification scheme for basically for the Chinese and Japanese language. They are using CLC Chinese library classifications, also known the classification for Chinese libraries. The next is say the library bibliography classification scheme, the basically rural libraries. These are the basically type of library. I summarize these sessions. I cover the what is the classifications meaning, then the various methods, various type of classifications. First classification see because enumerative say, and faceted also an analytical synthetic scheme. The basically I conclude that the three type of the classification. This, thank you so much. Have a nice day.